Demi Lovato, Jane Pauley, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Catherine Zeta-Jones, Vivian Lee, Carrie Fisher, Patty Duke, Winston Churchill, Aaron Robinson. What do all these dynamic human beings have in common? Bipolar disorder. According to the National Institutes of Health, bipolar disorder, also formerly known as manic depressive illness, is a brain disorder that causes unusual and often dramatic shifts in mood, energy, and activity levels. The individual afflicted with this disorder experiences highs in which they can stay awake for long periods of time. Winston Churchill was known to work frantically for up to 18 hours a day, exhausting his own staff. During moments of mania, the individual can be extremely creative, have expansive emotions, and feel invincible. This is not the phase where these individuals seek help. This is the phase where usually we see these individuals as social butterflies, able to conquer anything, and seem to have an unending supply of energy. This period of the disorder is seductive because it feels amazing. The person loves the high, like the gambler loves the elusive jackpot. But slowly, the expansiveness shifts and the social butterfly starts to not quite make sense. It can be subtle. The energy turns to agitation, clarity turns to confusion. Before a person is diagnosed, family and friends might notice that something is not quite right, but they can't put their finger on it. As Pamela has said herself, at first we thought it was Aaron, just being Aaron. Early in my career as a psychologist, I had a patient in the midst of mania decided in the middle of the night that she would pick up her life along with her young daughter and drive her van from Milwaukee to Los Angeles. She had the idea that she would become the Martha Stewart to the stars. By the time she had arrived, her dream had turned. The reality was that she had no place to live and no plan. It's when the mania has turned and the slide into depression has begun that we finally see the individual with bipolar reach out to help. As high as the mania is, it is as low as the depression can get. Mr. Churchill called the severe depression his black dog. Clarity becomes a fog. Fervent activity has slowed to a crawl. Some have described it as a heavy curtain that has been pulled over on their life. Their body aches with pain. Neil Lennon said, "It's a bit like walking down a long, dark corridor, never knowing when the light will go on." It is here where the suicidal thoughts start to come into play. The good news is that often once the individual seeks help and gets on proper medication, that the highs and lows level out. I have treated patients in therapy that no longer need to see me on a regular basis because they're stable on medication. The problem is that the person with bipolar disorder enjoyed the highs. I've had patients feel flat emotionally on medication because they were finally feeling within a normal range. Just like many of us have done, we stop our medication because we're feeling better. And so the battle for compliance begins. Just like diabetes or heart disease, bipolar disorder and depression are real illnesses. They are treatable. For example, after many years of self-medicating or just attributing her behavior to a chaotic lifestyle, Carrie Fisher finally understood. She said, "Without medication, I would not be able to function in this world. Medication has made me a good mother, a good friend, and a good daughter." Unfortunately, the loved ones of those with bipolar disorder and depression stand by helplessly as all of this unravels. They are left to pick up the pieces. Let's all work together to support these people and their loved ones with such illnesses. I'm delighted to say that Aaron's House is a place where we can come together to support those who tirelessly care for these individuals. They are real individuals. And it's gatherings like this that will help us to eliminate the stigma of people reaching for help or families asking for support. Thank you.